Okay, this is weird. Is this the first time you guys can hear me? Can you hear me? And is this like the first you can hear me? This is so weird. Apparently, I've been talking for like 7 minutes, and I thought that I had started the stream, but apparently I had not. So, wow, that's something. Yeah, yeah. So I've been talking for like 7 minutes and showing stuff, and nothing happened. Welcome, everyone. 7 minutes late, but not really. Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. Hope this video finds you well, or this stream. I guess at least by waiting, I guess hey, there's more people here than there were right when I started. But yeah, I guess I'll go through all of this again. So couldn't go live with Herman tonight. He had work obligations, so things happened. So I just figured I would step in the time slot and go ahead and do my Dallas card show recap. Welcome Colby, Diego, Dan, John, Ed, Mark. I can see on the screen at the moment. I appreciate y'all joining in and waiting around as I was talking and doing a video, but was not live. So anyway, had a great time. And, if you watch like Baseball Collector and a lot of the guys that talk about the National, they talk about, it's the people, it's the experience, it's seeing people. That's the big thing. It's not even so much about the cards. And I definitely feel that way. This was had a great time. Rode up with Mike. I appreciate him giving me a lift up. So that I didn't have to take our car all day. Steve's Beans Ball Card blog. Home without a car all day, because that's not cool. So rode up with him, got in there, and pretty much immediately went to where they were going to be doing a live hobby hotline. And there, right there was, John, that 70s card show, John, Sports Card Nation, Brad, Texas Card Dude, Rich was there, and Logan was there. Excuse me there. So Logan's like, immediately like, I got something for you. All right, that's great. I appreciate it. I was like, well, damn, I don't have anything for him. It's kind of hard to buy somebody that's named King NASCAR. It's kind of hard to find stuff for them that they don't already have or want. But you see all this in front of me? These were from Logan. He drove down from Memphis. He knows that I love grilling and smoking, so he brought some rubs my way. So we got the Memphis original Charlie Vergo's Rendezvous famous seasoning. Is this the one? Yep, there's a pig there. So I'm thinking this is a pork seasoning of some point. So these are definitely going to get used in the near future. We also got, as Mrs. Bean's Ball Card blog gets really excited about that, Epicurean barbecue and ribs. I have no idea what that means. Commissary, so good you'll slap yo mama, world famous Memphis style barbecue. That's a lot of words. Yeah. They've your favorite joint in the world. Duly noted. I will discuss that in a moment, Zach. If I don't, then ask again. Smackers, made in Memphis, original, sweet and spicy Memphis style gourmet barbecue seasoning. I like the sweet and spicy ones. Right in my alley. And then Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, original barbecue dry rub seasoning. It says ribs. I did some spare ribs a couple weekends ago. Gonna do some more here soon, so we'll have to do that. But man, we're gonna have to try this rendezvous, knowing that world traveler John, and those are his favorite. That's his favorite rib joint in the world. Maybe I can't, live up to those standards, but I'll do what I can. So not only that, just like me, sweet and spicy. Oh, hey Zach, the reason it's Beans Ball Card blog is because so when I started at the Lids corporate office many years ago, apparently everybody got a nickname. Well, I understand how psychology works. So when the first nickname they gave me, I did not fight it. So then they came up with Bean, which was short for Butterbean, because at the time I had no facial hair, and apparently I bore a striking resemblance to the boxer Butterbean. So I became Bean, and I was like, well, that's better than what I'm not going to tell you they used. So I didn't fight it, and that became my name. So Beans Ball Card blog, which is funny because I don't really do much with ball cards. It's pretty much all racing cards now. But that is where that came from. So not only did Logan bring that, Logan is a PSA registry guy, and he collects a lot of Earnhardts because he just collects NASCAR. So he handed me a box, and it had a stack of slabs in it. And so, like, here is one of them. So PSA 8 Dale Earnhardt Legends. Very awesome. I love again, I'm getting into grading not because I so much care about the grades themselves, but I love the consistency of how the cards look. It makes different cards, again, consistent across the board. And I know these are all multiples. These are all ones he probably submitted, and then later on he upgraded either by submitting himself or just buying them. But a 1993 Action Pack Dale Earnhardt PSA 8. I don't really buy a lot of the stick and ball sports anymore. I mean, I guess you'll see that I did buy a few, but so we got another Dale Earnhardt 1993 Action Pack PSA 8. Awesome. Daytona Busch Clash winner there. I love any Earnhardt stuff that's like Victory Lane or holding trophies or any of that kind of stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. 1993 Action Pack Dale Earnhardt. Don't even care about the grades. I'm not even going to talk about them because I don't care about the grades. 1993 Action Pack. It's like Logan sent a whole bunch of Action Pack in at one time, maybe. Oh, hey, I didn't even realize that. I think that's the same one. Oh, this one says Braille. Okay, so they're different. So this must have been a parallel. Nothing there, but then you can see the Braille, and then there's no writing there. So I did not notice that when I looked through them the other day. How cool is that? Now, I did not have any of the Dale Earnhardt 1988 Max cards. I've been looking at them and considering buying some, but boom, here we go. Here's one of them. So Dale Earnhardt does not have like a driver card. He was not licensed with Max. So as you'll see from that one and this one and this one. So he's even pictured on this card, but his name is not because he did not have a license with Max until the next season's release for the 1989 set. Any boxes I picked up? No, I have not opened any of those boxes, Colby. Heck, I haven't even shown them off yet because I've got a big old stack of boxes I still got to show off because I haven't been doing videos quite as often as I should have. And yeah, the Action Pack, the Braille was kind of one of their marketing selling techniques early on. And then this PSA slabbed Johnny Rutherford, 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner from over in Fort Worth. I could probably be to his house in 20 to 30 minutes if I was a creeper, but I am not a creeper. And yeah, Colby, I'll probably wait a while on most of those boxes. I might open that M-Force just because it is what it is, and you had said you want to see it. I don't buy unopened modern stuff. I buy old boxes. Colby's asking. He actually picked up some NASCAR for me a couple times in the last few months from a shop near him, and I'm getting better prices than I can eBay. I do buy stuff on eBay. I just haven't opened anything in a while. So hand me that, and then later on, Logan actually bought a collection, and then out of the kindness of his heart, he gifted me this because he already had one. This is a Dale Earnhardt relic. It's a race use tire and fire suit card. Can't quite see it there, but it's got a 25. So another Earnhardt relic to add to my collection. Just his kindness, I mean, I can't even put into words. And then he had a handful of these, and I just mentioned in passing, like, I had been looking at some of these just because Tim Richmond did drive the Indianapolis 500 a couple times. But this is a race use fire suit card from Press Pass Legends. I wouldn't say there's a big divide in that, Zach, where they like driver versus car cards, because I think in general, most people don't like the car cards. They prefer their driver cards. There are less driver cards than there used to car cards than there used to be. I hated them when I was collecting it in the 90s and early 2000s, but I will say that I've grown to appreciate them, especially like guys like Jeremy Mayfield that drove different cars throughout his career, and Dale Earnhardt had different paint schemes, special paint schemes. He had a Wheaties paint scheme that was popular. He did a lot of Bass Pro paint schemes. He did 1996 Atlanta Olympics. So I personally like him now for the difference in the paint schemes. But I admit when I was heavy into that I did not care for him, and I don't think most people do. So, Stella. All right, guys, hold on. Stella. Those dogs are not going to hurt you. Stella. All right, I'm back. This dog, she's barking at somebody walking four dogs those four dogs combined are all smaller than her. All right. So, anyway, back to this. So it's funny. I told my wife before I left that morning, and then, I said to Mike, I said to Logan, I was like, it's very possible I end up coming home and I don't buy anything because of the way I'm collecting and just things, there's a lot of racing there. Just typically what I'm looking for as of late. If you've been watching my channel, that's what I've purchased. Well, guy actually wasn't going to buy anything. I sure bought something quickly. They go, sorry, Stella made your dog bark, but it happens. Yeah, for a guy that said he might not buy anything, he bought something at the first table that he saw. Now it was because of it was from Roger. Some of you may know Roger Neufeld, longtime dealer. But he had this card, and I mean, just the price on it was already good. I was like, I didn't even know what it was, but I was like, there's no way that this is not worth air quotes. Doesn't have a going rate of $40, which is what he had on it. 1952 Bowman small autogram. No issues on the back. There's a small crease there, which actually I did not see before, but I mean, you guys can't see it. You might be able to see it if I zoom in. I think you can see it a little bit. Then there is a little bit of a creasing. I guess it's that same crease. I guess it goes through a little more than I thought, but I had seen it there. But I mean, at this distance, you don't see any of that. And so he had this marked at what was already a fantastic price, in my opinion. But I actually got it for $10 off. So I got this thing for $30. Yeah, for a guy that said he might not get anything, it took me about 10 minutes to have something. So I walked around for a while. I typically walk around at least once, but you know how it is sometimes. If you see a deal like that, you got to grab it. So I walked around for a bit, didn't really find anything. Logan was with me at that point, and then he wanted to go get signatures of somebody that was signing at the show. So he and I went our separate ways, and then I started looking around the show a little bit more. And it just so happened, and I'm sure there were more, but at this particular place, there was somebody that had some cards, and for someone that y'all might know. So, anyone want to venture a guess as to who this is for? And it's not John Keating, even though, I heard in his live stream today, that 70s card show, he did his recap earlier today. Go check that out if you haven't already. Baseball collector, Mike, he did his yesterday, so go check that out. So, who do you think this is for? It is not for Bob. I'm not even sure who Bob is. Lou Bob? Anyway, so I found 2 cards that Herman needed of the 7 remaining for his set. So the other one had a crease. He wasn't super thrilled with it. Fair enough. This one's a little off center. But the Wi-Fi or the phone signal was pretty bad in there, and it wasn't sending pictures. I walked outside, see if it would work. It didn't. I called him. But this was the one he was interested in. So this will be headed your way soon, Herman. I've got some other cards for you anyway, so put a little care package for you together, and you will soon have this one. I did notice on your pinned tweet, you still have the one where you still have this left, so you might want to update that. But as I was walking outside, something caught my eye, and while I was trying to make this deal for him, as I walked outside, I made my big purchase of the day again for a guy that said he might not, for a guy that might come home without anything, and that's not a bad thing. I sure came home with some things. So not only all that you've already seen, which was, all of that except for one was gift. I saw this. So a T206 slabbed at that price. So he had more. He had, I want to say, about a total of about a dozen. And I was like, okay, what do you want for just what kind of deal will you give me if I just take them all? He's like, I'm not going to come off of them. He's like, I think I have a fair price and I can't argue with him. I mean, this price was good. So I picked this up. I didn't even look to see if I had it or anything. Just at that price, I felt like I was doing well. So I went ahead and grabbed that. But wait, there's more. I also grabbed this one. This one is a good 2 with a mark, with a qualifier. The mark on it was there's a little X down at the bottom. I love those because that means I get a better looking card on the front for a better price. Again, not even, I haven't bought any T206 in a while, but this was just too good to pass up. You thought that the first Ginger Beaumont was good. What about Peaches Graham? Some good color there too. Yeah, got a crease right here. But I mean, the thing is, I mean, y'all know what it costs PSA. It costs to submit anything with PSA right now. So basically, you submitted this now. The price I paid for the card slabbed is the price of getting something. The price actually, unfortunately, is on the slab. No, it really is on the slab. But I will get those off and I will clean that up a little bit, and then I will get them into perfect fit sleeves. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Rube Manning. There were a lot of Rubes back then. Yeah, it's Rube Manning, Rube Waddell. No, there was another Rube. When's the last time you met a Rube? Wasn't Rube the name of the catcher in like Major League 2? I think it was. Anyway, another, again, on these, not concerning myself with the who, the what, the why, any of that. But at that price, you can't pass those up. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people that put them on the slabs. This is an older gentleman. He's probably into his 70s or so. It just is what it is. I'm sure that a younger dealer probably would not. Harry Niles. What's crazy is I look at this and it's a 1, and I mean, what is the difference between this and this? I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. Just it's crazy to me. The grades are similar grades, whether on the low or the high end. But again, beautiful card. And then one last one. Cy Barger in a 1. But again, great color, registration. Just, I mean, these cards all are what I'm looking for when I do acquire them. Again, I haven't in a while. I'm probably up close to 120 total and about 100 unis. But yeah, so I picked all those up. Again, did not get a break. And I thought about going back later and maybe picking off some more. He had some, that were a little higher priced, and I just ended up not doing it. And I don't regret that. I'm very happy walking away with what I got there. And, at least judging by the folks that have said anything in the chat, I think they agree. So basically after that, I really did think I was done. I was just like, I'm good. I don't need to spend any more money. I'm fine. I'm happy. Got a great deal, and then got that Ginger, looks like Elon Musk. Oh heavens. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. It's good. But, I'm there. I'm there all day because I was going to be going to the hobby roundtable with Dr. Beckett later that night. So ended up meeting up with Logan. We went, got some lunch. And he's like, oh, you want to walk around this was all. I spent the early part of my time in the main room. But then then you got the Starlight room that we walked into, and I mean, I just said to him, yeah, I think I'm done, blah blah blah. And much like when I first entered the first room of the show, it took all of about 5 minutes to find something, and I bought it. What is it that I bought? There was someone that had a box. I think it was supposed to have a dozen, but it had 13 of them shoved in there. This Legends of Indy set in these blister packs. So I believe this is the only way that the Series 2 came, was in these blister packs. I've been wanting one of these. I have most of the 80s and 90s IndyCar sets already, but this is one that I didn't have. That Starlight room, man. I love that room. So this was one I didn't have, and he had 13 of them. So I was like, okay, I want them all. He only had $2 a piece on them. So I was like, okay, see if he'll do 20. And, I was about to and whatnot. And then I saw something else. This is from these are 92, I believe. They're either 91 or 92, 1992. The first series was 1991. Yeah, and these have definitely seen some better days because you can kind of see where it's dirty right there, like where my thumb is. They had stickers like, set number blank of blank. But most of them, except for 5, had fallen off. Logan was interested in some of these, so he had already extended so much kindness that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just get them all. I would have paid the full $2 a piece, but I was like, I'm gonna try to get them for 20. Then I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I've been wanting these Legends of Indy sets. I've been wanting one, at least one, but I'm happy to have more than one because it was one I didn't have. And on eBay, you can find them, but it's usually at least $10 delivered because this blister packaging is not easy to package and all that. So I bought some Family Matters cards unopened for Herman. That is not a fact. Anyway, just out of the corner of my eye, I happen to see this, and this is something else I've looked for boxes of on eBay and just hadn't pulled the trigger, and very, very glad that I didn't, because 1987 Topps Mini League Leaders. All the damn nostalgia for me. I love these things. I hated that they were smaller when I was a kid in 1987, but that was way better than the 1989 Bowman, which were bigger. But holy hell, I was happy to see these. And at the $15 price point, that was fantastic. So, of course, I, took the Mike Moynihan, you never pay sticker price / bulk up, put stuff together, get your bulk deal. So I ended up getting this box and those 13 sets for $30. And Logan, I was going to give him half of the sets because I'm going to get some more from the gentleman. He has more unopened ones. So I'm going to get those down the road. Logan ended up with the 5 that still had the stickers on them that I'd said about the set numbering, and got this. So I am so excited about this. And those of you that opened these back in the day, or I guess anytime since, I think what I'm so excited about on this is the smell. These cards, because of that UV coating, these had to be some of the first UV coated cards. I mean, it's almost like shellac or something, but man, there is a smell in that can, pretty sure it's going to give me a pretty solid buzz. So I am much looking forward to this. Love to be on the 89 one. I would do the 86 if I could, but that was not one I had as a kid. But this is all the nostalgia, all feels that I need. So winning. All right, so now you can't see my face. You can just see my hat. So yeah, that was all purchased after after I wasn't going to buy anything else. But wait, there's more. Same aisle. After I took care of what I was going to do with all those, because it was kind of big and bulky, we started walking again, and Logan's like, "Oh, you need to look at this over here. I saw these earlier." I was like, "Oh, damn, what is it?" This is something I did not even know existed, and this is an IndyCar. It is from the 1973 Nabisco Sugar Daddy Championship Speedway Collection. At least that's what the PSA label here tells me. This my last pickup from the day. So the gentleman he had one in the case, and I'm like, okay, you know, what do you need for it? It was like a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to want to pay it. He's like, well, this is a set I'm trying to sell, but I have another box that has more of these. He actually had 2 of these more. He had this 5 that I ended up ultimately purchasing, and a 7. And I considered buying both, but I had already spent, you know, what I thought was a good amount of money. So I was happy. But this was a set that crossed racing series. There was a David Pearson from NASCAR. There was some F1. There was all kinds of different things. And this was the only IndyCar related. But this is Al Unser driving the number 2 Johnny Lightning car. Al Unser is one of the 4-time winners of the four-time winners of the Indianapolis 500. Elio Castroneves became the 4th last year. There is a documentary on Peacock now called, what is it called? The I don't know, something. But anyway, they did it. I'm so glad they did, because just a few months later in the winter of this year, we lost Al Unser. But I do not have a 73 Fittipaldi Panini rookie. That is for sure. Where was I going? Oh, but I was listening to my buddy Mike, who some of y'all probably see me interact with on Twitter. Thompson419, I believe, is his handle. I believe those are the numbers. But he and Jake Query were talking on Beyond the Bricks on one of the Indianapolis radio stations last week on their Beyond the Bricks show. And they said that they believe this may be the most popular, most well-recognized IndyCar paint scheme ever. And I just thought it was so appropriate that just after they said that last week on a show, I ended up with this card. And I mean, this just capped off such an amazing show of, you know, not only the pickups, but the people. And it was just something. And then we went to, you know, and then we still had another hour or two, walked around, but that was it. That's it. And that was plenty. Was way more than I ever expected to come home with. But then later on, we did the hobby. Maybe it's not called Hobby Roundtable. That's Herman's thing on Saturday nights. But whatever it was the content creator dinner with Dr. Beckett, and had a great time at that. Oh, excuse me, got the hiccups. Well, I started collecting racing, honestly, in the mid-90s, because I got into NASCAR. The funny thing was, I like to tell the story how I got into NASCAR. I'll do that quickly. So at this time, there were 2 very popular hit songs that I did not care for. There were 2 top 40 type radio stations in my area that I flipped between. And every time that one of those 2 songs came on, I would flip to the other station. Those songs that I couldn't stand were Killing Me Softly by the Fugees, which I now love that song. It's a good song. And The Macarena. And those were like 2 very huge hits at the same time. It felt like they were both played every hour, and I would just change the station every time. Well, one day I switched over to, what was it, WFGM, The Great 98, and it was no longer WFGM, The Great 98. It was 97.9 WKKW, Today's Hit Country. And I'm like, well, hell, I ain't going to have to hear the Fugees or who was it that did the Macarena? I can't remember who it was. I ain't going to have to hear it on here. So, and I'm like, music ain't half bad. So that is both how I got into country music and how I got into racing, because they would run the NASCAR races on the weekends, both at the time, what was called the, the second series. What the hell was it called? So the Winston Cup, which was the top series, and I'm having a brain fart. The Busch series was the second series, and sometimes they do the trucks. But I started collecting racing then. I kind of got out of it, got into the early to mid 2000s, and then just kind of got back into it in the last 2 or 3 years. I'd kind of passively started collecting the IndyCar stuff probably about 7 years ago, and then started getting serious into the Dale Earnhardt stuff about 3 years ago. So back to the content creator dinner. Yeah, it was a good time. Um, I didn't talk as much as you would think I would talk, being me, but yeah, some great people in there. I'm trying to go around the table and think, and I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody. But you had baseball collector Mike. I can't remember who was sitting next to him. Oh, that would have been John Keating, that 70s card show. And you had Brad, Texas Card Dude. I'm doing this all from memory, so I apologize if I miss anyone. Rich was next to him. There was a gentleman that's like a freelance guy. I don't really know who he is. And then you had Angela and Steph, myself, and then Logan was sitting by me. And then you had, I believe his name is Patrick from Ratty Cards. Ratty, RADI, not Ratty, Ratty Cards. He does a YouTube channel and a blog. And then Dr. Beckett was there, and I feel like there was somebody sitting next to Dr. Beckett, and I'm having a complete brain fart on who it is. Oh, John Newman was right next to Brad. He's in the chat, and I totally, yeah, I kind of couldn't see him at the angle I was at because he was far down on his end, and I was like next to that side on the table. So, oh, Rob Veras from Burbank. That's who was sitting next to Dr. Beckett, between Dr. Beckett and Mike. So he obviously was able to. So he is the owner of Burbank Sports Cards. So he was definitely able to, provide some thoughts and stuff that the rest of us didn't have because none of the rest of us are shop owners. John sells cards. John Newman of Sports Card Nation. But Rob Veras has a unique take from what the rest of us in there had. So apparently he does a morning podcast about 15 minutes, just like Dr. Beckett does, but he does them on Instagram apparently. That's my understanding, and I don't know that it's put anywhere else. If it was, I would be interested in listening. I wish they would move it over to YouTube, but it is what it is. I'm not Jeremy Allen. Okay, so if you know who Jeremy Allen is, he was the other guy there, and I think he was at the one I was at last May as well. Because when I saw him, I kind of recognized him, but just didn't know who he was. But it was a great time. I mean, I tell you, the big thing about the Dallas Card Show and what I love is the fact that you do have guys that come in from out of town, guys like the Johns, that 70s Card Show, John Keating, Sports Card Nation, John Newman, Logan was in from Memphis. It's a great chance to see these guys because I am not a person that goes to the National. I won't be going this year. I'm going to try to get up there next year. It really is in my game plan. No, I know John, but I mean, as far as a viewpoint of a current, hobby shop, he provided a different aspect of things that are going on now, things, we may not thought of, or just because it's a different point of view. But that's my recap. I had a great time. It truly, at the end of the day, I'm not probably going to remember where most of these cards came from. I'm not going to necessarily remember where those T206s came from because I have other common T206s slabbed. Now this, I'm going to remember. This, I'm definitely going to remember. And this, I'm going to remember. And I'm going to remember all that stuff that Logan just gave me out of the kindness of his heart. That was not the one I was saying I would remember. It was the autogram. But it was about the people. I mean, I just wish that, I wish every show could be like this and that I could have, hobby friends from all over the country make it in. Hey, Name, thanks for joining us. About to wrap it up, but it'll always be on the replay. It truly is about the people. As I was talking to Mike on the way up, one of the things I said is the reason that I kind of ended up gravitating toward YouTube is the interaction with people. And part of why I've made these changes lately to doing these streams more than doing just videos and posting them is because of the interaction I get from you guys. All you guys that join in these live chats. I truly appreciate it. I love talking to you guys. You guys are my friends. And for a lot of us, if we're married, we don't, our wives amuse us as much as they can. I have a fantastic wife, and she knows stuff that she did not know before. I mean, she actually has answered questions for people before about cards. So she knows, and she amuses me. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and talk for 30 minutes about an Al Unser card to her and keep her interest. And I also can't do it because I actually really love my wife and enjoy being married to her. And I do not want her to leave me because I can't stop talking about an Al Unser card. Oh, no worries, name. No worries. I just decided to go live instead of recording a video because this is our normal. Usually this time on Monday nights on the 3B Collection channel, he and I are doing we do a live show most Mondays, and I just decided to hop on since we weren't doing the show because I knew some of our hobby friends like to join in the chat. Most of the guys in the chat here watch that show and join us in the chat, and I thought, don't Keating your stuff. Yeah, that was quite a story. But I have to say, I love the fact that John, and that's that 70s card show, mentioned that the box had his logo on it. Fantastic idea. I would say I need to get my logo branded, but hey, people might think it's actually Beckett since Beckett basically stole my colors and logo for the most part. I mentioned that at the Hobby Roundtable, and the one guy actually had a Beckett shirt on with the new logo. And when I saw that, I definitely got a good chuckle because I had mentioned the whole Beckett in my logo thing. Well, welcome home, Herman. But I'm about done. I'm about to sign off here, go spend some time with the lovely wife. That's what I got. I appreciate all y'all joining in chat. It just makes these so much better. Yeah, it makes the videos longer. There's no doubt about it. But man, just trying to crank out a video, even a 15-minute video, a lot of days I'm like, just really don't want to do it. But I don't have that feeling when I come and do these lives. This is a lot of fun. I really appreciate y'all joining in. Y'all truly are hobby friends. It's great. It was great to see everyone that I did get to see. For those that I didn't, hopefully I get to see in the future because I am shooting for Chicago 2023 at the National. But man, I got to say, one last thing I'm going to throw out there, and I don't know how the Johns and, everybody else that was there feels. I am still beat from Saturday. At a certain point, you're getting tired. I mean, I was on my feet for the most part from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., with maybe about an hour sitting. I work from home, so I don't have an office I walk around. I am still beat. I was beat even more, Sunday, more yesterday. So all we did yesterday, all we did was we went to the park for a little bit, fed the ducks, fed the turtles, came home, and I literally watched Indy pole qualifying, sitting outside, pulled one of our TVs outside and just sat out there under the gazebo all damn day. Cause I'm still fried. Don't know how I'm going to do the National. That I have to say, it's going to be it's quite interesting how that's going to work out if I'm there. I mean, some guys are there 3 and 4 days, but I mean, some guys are there the whole time, and that's just crazy. Well, Dan, the temperature here is actually low. We're actually only been in the 70s I think it actually got into the 80s today, but 70s yesterday, 80s today. That was part of the reason I sat outside for hours yesterday. Had to enjoy that last day where it wasn't going to hit the 80s probably until sometime in October or November. Again, I've said it, I think 3 times already. Thanks to all of you for joining the chat. It just does make this a lot better. I hope I didn't miss anybody's questions because I really did try to keep up with it. If I did, I apologize. It was just an oversight. You probably your question just scrolled up before I got to it. But as always, I will leave you with, don't be a dickhole. Be kind to animals, adopt, don't shop. Get your pet spayed or neutered, and I will see you down the road.